Well, it's time for the weekly harvest out here, and I have to say that with the lower light conditions, it's staying warm here in where we're at in the Portland metro area. It's still getting to 80 degrees in the afternoon, and now we're, well into October, and that's neat, and I think that is helping me get a longer runway on things like some tomatoes and peppers and even eggplants and beans. But the lower light conditions are definitely affecting the growth rate of just basic stuff in my garden. I've said before, I'm kind of a brassica farm here. I've got a lot of kale and broccoli and things like that. And my kale leaves just aren't growing very fast with these lower light conditions. So at least that's what I'm seeing in my garden. And yeah, I wonder if anybody in similar conditions experience the same thing as they go into fall. Are your kale leaves slowing down? I often find in the garden that I'm working in between conflicting agendas. And now that it's October, it's getting to be darker, it's a little cooler, and it's going to be rainy, well, any day now. I have this idea of clearing out the greenhouse for the winter and setting up the deck furniture in here. I can't really overwinter anything in here anyway because it'll just get too cold. My proposed seating area won't be warm when it's cold and dark outside, but when it's sunny outside, it'll be warmer, and I can also put my portable space heater in here. So I'm imagining this pretty cool space that I can hang out in, or that we can gather in, that is dry, somewhat warm, but also still part of this outside garden during the winter. The conflict I'm having with this is that my eggplants and peppers here are still alive and healthy right now. My peppers are still producing, but my eggplants, as I've mentioned in prior videos, are green with a lot of foliage, but actually they don't have any eggplants on them. I've assumed that's because it was way too hot in the summer for the plants to fruit, but now, realistically, I don't know if we've got enough light and enough time that it'll stay that way for any fruit to mature. So the easy thing to do here is going to be to rip out the eggplants and make the space I need for my indoor greenhouse living room. But I suspect that many of you are similar to me, and that idea just kind of hurts. I've got good plants in here. They're healthy. They're doing just fine. Yeah, they're not producing a lot in terms of the eggplants, but there's always hope, right? I know, not really. I should just pull them all out now. Well, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and rip out these eggplants, and even though that tugs at my heart to do that, I'm just going to get it out of the way, and then I can move on with my plans for how to enjoy this greenhouse for the rest of the winter. So when I came in this morning, the cushions out here were pretty damp, so I'm feeling the pressure. The time crunch is on to get things cleaned out of the greenhouse and be able to get this furniture or some part of it into the greenhouse so that it can stay dry and nice and have a cozy place to sit and hang out. Well, just a little update at the beginning of the season. You may have seen my videos when I was putting these little baggies over my apples. And this was a new tree. The apples are really small, but they're actually pretty tasty, and the bags do seem to work. They do seem to have kept out the pests that would have gotten into them. I'm not finding worms or anything that's born into them. Not yet. I haven't harvested all of these yet, but yeah, it seems like there is some success. I still don't know if I like having the look of it in the garden anyway, but it does seem to do the job that I was intending it to. Well, the weekly donation pile is getting more like 14 to 15 pounds at this point rather than the 20 to 30 pounds that I was doing earlier. You know, it's really a goal of mine to increase the poundage that I am able to donate on a weekly basis. That's one of the targets or the things, you know, people ask, well, what am I trying to achieve? I can't tell you why I want to achieve that, but I can tell you that is what I'm trying to achieve, is increase that poundage. Maybe just to say it because I could, to say that I have the skill and ability to do it. It checks a bunch of boxes for me. It's a game. It's a physical activity. It is a peaceful or a restful, a meditation to be doing it. I'd like to think that I'm also contributing to the community and helping others. I don't actually know who eats these beans, for example, or how much of them they actually eat, or how much of them go to waste in the long run. But at least I gave it a shot. I feel like it's a worthwhile way to be spending some of my free time. My prize sweetmeat squash here. Well, no seeds or plantings this week, but here's what we're harvesting: tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, beans, beets, winter squash now, and of course, as always, broccoli and kale.